Hey folks, Dr. Moonshine here again. Some of you might remember my whiskey bottle AM transmitter I did, basically where we took a 12 kilohertz signal out of a sound card and used a mixer to mix it up to the AM broadcast band. Now that's a nice little test to make a signal, but one of the problems with that approach is that you're going to have basically two AM signals. You're going to have a AM signal that's 12 kilohertz above the LO and 12 kilohertz below the LO. So Dr. Moonshine was thinking, like, how could we use the sound card to make an AM signal, well, narrowband FM signal, single sideband, you name it, out of the PC sound card, but only have one signal. So what we do, or what would be a good approach, is we still take the signal out of the sound card. In this case, we'll make it a 14 kilohertz center carrier frequency. Use a mixer to mix the 14 kilohertz up to 10.7 megahertz. The reason why we do that is because you can readily buy 10.7 megahertz crystal filters that are only 10 kilohertz wide. And what I found is I had to put two of those filters in series to make sure that only one of the AM signals got through and the other one was attenuated. And this worked quite well. But some of you may be thinking, okay, well, I don't want my signal to be at 10.7 megs. I want to be able to tune all around. So one thing you can do is then, once you now have that single frequency at 10.7 megahertz, you can now feed that to another mixer to mix it down and have the signal anywhere from 0 to 5 megahertz, and you just use the second LO to tune it where you want. So this is what's called a up-down converter. And the reason we did this is to try to separate the two signals as though that we only have one signal coming out of the sound card. This picture here kind of shows the parts of what I bought to make this happen. So we got the two 10.7 megahertz crystal filters readily available on eBay or Amazon. We also got two mixers. I used the Alpha Delta Echo -6 mixer, again on Amazon or eBay. I also got this 5 megahertz low pass filter, and that's on eBay. Make sure it looks like this one, because this filter is really a good filter actually. Not only does it cut off at 5 megahertz, but it attenuates signals, I think, well up to a gigahertz. So a very good low pass filter, whoever did that one. The problem with some other filters, they may cut off at 5 megs, but once you start getting up to like 100, 200, the signal creeps back up. So they're basically not a low pass filter for infinity. But you need to measure that to find that out. You can't just assume that. So again, test equipment is needed. But anyway, this setup is the overall setup here. Out of the sound card, first of all, we use GNU Radio to make the AM signal. The GNU Radio scripts are all posted below this video if you want to try to create this yourself. Out of this PC sound card comes a 14 kilohertz signal. It could be AM, FM, single sideband. You get the idea. We then use a mixer to mix it up to 10.7 megahertz. It goes through two crystal filters. So now we have a signal at 10.7, only with the 10 kilohertz wide bandwidth. And then we feed it to another mixer where we can tune it down to be anywhere from 0 to 5 megs. So this is a very simple way to make a simple HF exciter. that's tunable. And the idea is you just change the last LO there to be what you want. So if you want the signal to be 4 megahertz, you just make the final LO be 14.7 megahertz, and 14.7 minus 10.7 is 4. So you get now a signal that will be at 4 megahertz. Now, the signal is going to be pretty weak. From what I measured from my setup, it was around minus 15 dBm. So, you're going to need some low-level amplifiers to get that up to 0 or 20 dBm to drive the whatever power amp you have. But anyway, obviously, if you got the red Pitaya or the TRX Duo, you can use that. But I get it. Those things are kind of pricey. So this is a simple approach of how you could just use a computer sound card and just a couple mixers and filters to get the computer sound card signal up to the HF frequency band. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Gave an overview today of how you can go about getting a signal out of a sound card and convert it up to HF frequencies. Now what we've shown today is a SDR transmitter, but you could probably do this in reverse, in that you could have the 5 meg low pass filter hooked to an antenna, probably an LNA or two. Mix it up to 10.7 megs, go through those two filters, and then convert that down to a 14 kilohertz signal that will then go into an ADC to get digitized, and then you can use all the SDR software like GQRX, SDR Sharp, you name it, to demodulate that AM, FM single sideband signal. So all the IQ is being done in the PC. We're not doing any type of analog IQ for obvious reasons. It leads to IQ bias issues and everything like that. So this is a simple approach just to use one channel of your sound card. So no left, right, just pick one. Left, right, doesn't matter. Just one channel at a time. And for my test, that this works quite well, and you guys should give it a try. Those of you that are experimenters out there. And now, if this is just too much work for you and you just don't want to do it, well, get the credit card ready and go buy yourself a Flex Radio or a Non. And be prepared to spend some big money. All right, until next time, this is Moonshine Radio. Bye-bye.